Have you ever noticed how the more interested you seem in a woman, the less interested she becomes? You text her more, compliment her more, show her attention, and suddenly she starts acting distant, cold, or even disappears completely. It's frustrating, confusing, and it makes you question what you did wrong. But here's the truth. You didn't do anything wrong. You just broke one of the unspoken rules of attraction. In this video, we're breaking down exactly why women ignore you when you show too much interest, and more importantly, what that behavior reveals about female psychology. Because once you understand how women actually respond to male energy, you'll stop chasing, stop over-investing, and start moving like a man who naturally earns respect and attention without even trying. See, most men think being nice, available, and open about their feelings will make a woman appreciate them. But that approach comes from a place of need, not power. When you make her your focus, she feels your energy shift. She senses you're no longer grounded in yourself. And the moment she feels she's the center of your world, the attraction starts to fade. Women are drawn to men who make them feel, not men who constantly seek. When you lead with emotional control, when you can show interest without attachment, that's when a woman starts to chase you. Because deep down, she wants to earn your attention, not be handed it freely. So, if you've ever been ignored after showing too much interest, pay attention. This video is going to change how you approach women forever. By the end, you'll understand how to keep your power, protect your confidence, and create attraction that lasts.
1. The more you chase, the more she pulls away. One of the biggest mistakes most men make is believing that showing more interest means showing more value. They think, if I call her more, text her first, or tell her how much I like her, she'll see I'm serious. But what actually happens? She starts to lose interest. The more effort you put in, the more she pulls back, and you're left wondering why. The reason is simple. Women are emotional detectors. They don't just listen to what you say, they feel where it's coming from. When you show too much interest too soon, she doesn't just see your attention. She feels your need. She senses that you're chasing her approval, and deep down, it signals that you see her as higher value than yourself. That's when attraction starts to fade. Think about it this way. People don't chase what they already have. When you give her your full attention before she's earned it, she subconsciously feels she's already won you. And once a woman feels she doesn't need to earn your time or energy, the mystery, excitement, and challenge disappear. You stop being a man she's drawn to, and you become a man she controls. Real attraction doesn't come from chasing. It comes from creating space. It's that balance between interest and self-respect. When a woman feels that you like her, but you're still focused on your life, your goals, and your purpose, she feels something powerful. Curiosity. She starts to think about you more. She wonders what's going on in your world. That's when you start to occupy her mind without even trying. Confidence is silent. Neediness is loud. You don't have to beg for attention when you're operating from a place of self-worth. Women feel it when a man moves like he has options, purpose, and peace within himself. That energy is magnetic. It makes her want to prove herself to you. So, when you feel that urge to chase, stop and check your energy. Ask yourself, am I acting out of confidence or fear? If it's fear, fear of losing her, fear of being ignored, that's exactly the energy that pushes her away. But if you can stay calm, detached, and centered, that's when she starts to see your strength. Remember this, a woman respects a man who doesn't need her validation. The less you chase, the more space she feels to come toward you. Attraction is like gravity. It works strongest when you're grounded in yourself. 2. Attraction isn't built through words, it's built through presence. If you've ever watched the movie The Great Gatsby, you'll remember Jay Gatsby, the rich, mysterious man who threw lavish parties every weekend just to catch the attention of Daisy, the woman he loved. Despite all his charm, money, and effort, Daisy never truly chased him. Why? Because Gatsby's interest became obsession. His life revolved around her. Every move he made screamed, "Please notice me." And that's where most men lose their power. See, attraction doesn't come from how much you talk, text, or express your feelings, and it comes from your presence. It's the calm, grounded energy a woman feels when she's around you. When you're comfortable in silence, confident in who you are, and focused on your life rather than her validation, that's when your presence becomes powerful. In The Great Gatsby, Daisy could feel Gatsby's desperation, and women in real life feel it too. When you make your world revolve around her, she feels the pressure of your need. It makes her step back. But when you stay centered, and when your energy says, "I like you, but I'll be fine with or without you," that's when her curiosity awakens. Most men underestimate how much women can read energy. A man might say all the right things, but if his actions come from insecurity, it shows. He'll text too quickly, over-explain, or constantly seek reassurance. That energy kills mystery, and mystery is the heartbeat of attraction. Women are drawn to men who make them feel something unpredictable. It's why a man who says less often gets remembered more. His presence lingers in her mind because she can't quite figure him out. He's calm when other men would be nervous. He's detached where others would overinvest. That's what creates emotional tension. And emotional tension creates attraction. So, what should you take from this? Stop thinking attraction is about convincing her. It's not about the words you say. It's about the energy behind them. When you approach her, talk to her, or even text her, do it from a place of calm certainty. You're not trying to win her over. You're simply expressing yourself as a man who knows his worth. Women ignore men who try too hard because effort without confidence feels desperate. But when your effort comes from strength, it feels genuine, masculine, and rare. You become the kind of man she can't easily categorize. And that mystery keeps her attention. Remember, in attraction, your silence can speak louder than your words. It's not about proving you care, it's about making her feel your presence even when you're not around. That's real power. 3. Emotional control is the ultimate attraction trigger. If there's one thing that separates men who constantly get ignored from those who naturally attract attention, it's emotional control. Most men don't realize how much women pay attention to their reactions. The moment a woman feels that her behavior, whether it's ignoring your text or giving you the silent treatment, can control your emotions, she subconsciously loses respect for you. When she ignores you and you start blowing up her phone, asking if you did something wrong or trying to fix it, she doesn't see it as effort. She sees it as weakness. In her mind, she now knows that you're emotionally dependent on her responses. That's not attractive. It makes her feel like she's the one in control, and the dynamic shifts instantly. Women test men not because they're cruel, but because they're instinctively drawn to emotional strength. They want to see if your composure is real or just an act. When you stay calm, focused, and unaffected by her distance, she feels that strength. It tells her, this man is grounded. He's not easily shaken. He doesn't crumble under pressure. That's the energy that separates leaders from followers, and it's exactly what makes a woman look at you differently. Think about it. When a woman pulls away and you don't chase, you're communicating something powerful without saying a word. You're telling her, you're free to go, but I'm not going to lose myself over you. That kind of self-assurance is rare, and women feel it instantly. It makes her wonder what's going on in your head. It triggers curiosity, and curiosity is what reignites attraction. Here's the truth. Your emotions are your greatest weapon or your biggest weakness. When you let them control you, you lose power. When you control them, you create power. Every time you overreact, overthink, or overpursue, you're teaching her that your self-worth depends on her attention. But when you remain composed, focused on your own world, and emotionally stable, she starts to feel your value without you having to prove it. Women admire men who can feel deeply but still lead with logic and calmness. That balance, emotion under control, a community is the definition of masculine energy. It's what makes her trust you, respect you, and eventually crave your presence. So the next time a woman ignores you, don't panic. Don't try to win her over with words. Let your silence speak for you. Stay calm, go live your life, and let her feel the absence of your attention. When you master emotional control, you stop chasing love and start commanding it. 4. When she feels she has you, the game changes. Let's imagine a realistic scenario. You meet a woman. She's beautiful, feminine, and exactly your type. You hit it off instantly. You make her laugh, she touches your arm, and you can tell she's interested. Everything feels smooth and natural, but then something shifts. You start thinking about her more. You text her first every morning, you're checking if she's read your messages, and suddenly she takes longer to reply. The calls stop coming from her side. She becomes busy, and before you know it, you're sitting there confused, wondering how you went from being the guy she liked to the guy she's ignoring. What changed? Here's what most men don't understand. The moment she feels she fully has you, her emotional curiosity starts to fade. Women are naturally drawn to challenge and uncertainty. They want to feel like they're earning your attention, not like it's already guaranteed. When she senses that you've emotionally surrendered, that her approval has become your focus, the tension that once created attraction disappears. In the beginning, she was intrigued because you were calm, confident, and a little unpredictable. You weren't waiting on her texts or seeking validation. You were just being yourself. That emotional distance made her invest, but once she felt your energy shift into pursuit mode, she unconsciously stopped chasing. It's not about her being cruel. It's just human psychology. People value what's scarce, not what's always available. When a woman knows you'll always be there, she stops needing to earn your attention. That's when she starts testing your boundaries. By being less responsive, by canceling plans, or by acting distant, just to see how you'll react. If you panic, chase, or get emotional, she instantly knows you've lost control. But if you stay grounded and go about your life, you flip the dynamic back in your favor. Here's what most men don't realize. The moment she feels safe knowing she can have you whenever she wants, she stops feeling excitement. That thrill of the unknown, the tension that made her think about you constantly, fades away. It's not that she doesn't like you anymore, she just doesn't feel that same emotional spark. So the next time things start going well with a woman, don't let your emotions sprint ahead of the situation. Keep your cool. Keep your focus. Let her feel that even though you enjoy her company, you're not waiting on her validation to feel good about yourself. That's what keeps her chasing, guessing, and investing. Remember, attraction thrives on uncertainty, but it dies on predictability. When she knows she doesn't have full access to you, that's when her interest grows stronger. 5. The energy of desperation versus the energy of confidence. There's a huge difference between showing interest and showing need, and women can feel it instantly. You don't have to say a word. Your energy speaks before you do. Every text, every tone of your voice, every move you make communicates what kind of man you are. One who's grounded and in control, or one who's desperate for approval. Think about it this way. When you meet a woman, she's not just observing your words. She's subconsciously reading your confidence, your rhythm, your composure. If she senses you're already emotionally attached before she's even earned that position in your life, she knows she's got you. And that's when the dynamic flips. When a man is confident, his interest feels calm and measured. He gives attention, but not validation. He's open, but not exposed. A confident man doesn't fear losing a woman because he knows he's the prize. He knows his life has purpose and no woman defines his worth. That's powerful energy, and women crave it. On the other hand, desperation feels heavy. It's when you start overthinking every text, trying to say the right thing, or worrying about how she feels instead of focusing on how you feel. Desperation is when your thoughts revolve around her approval, and that energy always pushes her away. Because deep down, women want to be led emotionally. They want a man whose confidence is so solid that it makes them feel secure, not smothered. When your energy shifts from, I hope she likes me, to, I know who I am and she can choose to join my world if she wants, everything changes. You stop chasing, and she starts noticing. She starts wondering why you're not affected like other men. She starts wanting your attention instead of avoiding it. Confidence is magnetic because it comes from abundance. You're not trying to convince anyone to stay. You know that whoever fits into your life will want to stay. That's the mindset of an alpha male. Not arrogance, but calm certainty. Here's what most men miss. Attraction is energetic, not logical. A woman might not even understand why she's losing interest when a man becomes too eager. It's because she can feel that he's giving up his power. When your world starts to orbit around her, she no longer feels your masculine polarity. And attraction dies in silence. So next time you're with a woman, focus less on trying to impress and more on expressing your natural self. Be present. Be grounded. Don't rush the connection. Let her feel the strength of your energy, not the weight of your need. Remember this. Your presence should make her calm, not your absence make her powerful. When your energy is confident and complete, she'll want to be part of it, not run from it. 6. Masculine detachment is what keeps her interested. Here's something most men never understand. Women don't fall for the man who gives them everything. They fall for the man who makes them feel something. And the emotion that keeps a woman hooked is uncertainty. Not confusion or games, but that mysterious sense that she doesn't completely have you figured out. That's where masculine detachment comes in. Masculine detachment doesn't mean coldness or arrogance. It's not about pretending not to care. It's about not needing to care. It's the calm power of a man who's centered in himself, whose peace doesn't depend on anyone else's attention. That kind of energy is rare, and women feel it the moment they meet you. When a man is detached, he can enjoy a woman's company without losing his focus. He doesn't panic when she pulls away because his sense of identity isn't tied to her validation. He doesn't need to chase, convince, or beg. His presence alone creates curiosity. That's why women are drawn to emotionally grounded men, because that groundedness gives them something solid to lean on. Imagine two men texting the same woman. One is waiting by his phone, overanalyzing every word she sends, wondering if she's losing interest. The other sends a message and goes about his day, working out, building his goals, living his life. Which one do you think she'll think about more? The second one, because his detachment communicates value. It says, I enjoy you, but I don't need you. That mindset shifts the power instantly. Women chase emotional stimulation, and a man who's detached creates that naturally. He's not constantly available, so his attention becomes a reward. He's not constantly emotional, so his calmness becomes attractive. He's not constantly talking about his feelings, so his mystery becomes magnetic. Masculine detachment also protects your peace. You're no longer controlled by how she behaves. Whether she texts or ignores you, compliments you, or criticizes you, you remain the same man. That consistency is what earns her respect. Most men swing between obsession and withdrawal. One minute they're overly affectionate, the next they're angry or distant. That emotional instability kills attraction faster than anything else. But when you master emotional detachment, you become the rock in the storm. She might test you, ignore you, or even pull away, but she can't shake you. And that unshakable energy does something powerful. It makes her feel safe, but also excited. She knows you're not like other men. So understand this. Your strength doesn't come from chasing. It comes from restraint. When you can desire a woman and still stay in control of yourself, you become unforgettable. That's masculine power in its purest form. Silent, composed, and deeply magnetic. 7. Understanding female psychology and playing the long game. If you truly want to understand why women ignore you when you show too much interest, you have to stop looking at it emotionally and start seeing it psychologically. Attraction isn't random. It's built on subconscious triggers that have been wired into human behavior for generations. Women are biologically drawn to strength, confidence, and emotional leadership. When you show too much interest too early, what she sees isn't affection. It's dependency. And dependency signals weakness. Here's what you need to understand. A woman's attraction doesn't grow through comfort. It grows through respect and curiosity. If she knows everything about you in the first few days, how you feel, what you think, and how much you like her, there's no emotional mystery left. She already has your validation, so she no longer needs to earn it. The game is over before it even started. That's why the men who keep women hooked are not the ones who talk the most. They're the ones who make her feel the most. They communicate with energy, not just words. Their focus isn't on getting the girl, it's on being the kind of man who naturally attracts one. When you live with purpose, build yourself, and maintain self-control, women can sense that power. It's something they feel, and it's what makes them want to be around you. Educating yourself on female psychology doesn't mean manipulating women. It means understanding how attraction really works. Women respect emotional strength because it represents stability. They ignore men who show too much interest because it represents uncertainty. It's not that she dislikes attention. She just wants to feel that the man giving it has value behind it. Your attention should feel earned, not free. Think of attraction as a balance. Give enough to show interest, but not enough to lose your mystery. Compliment her, but don't worship her. Spend time with her, but don't abandon your priorities. Show care, but don't lose composure. Every woman responds differently, but all women respond to strength. Playing the long game means focusing on becoming the man first, not winning the woman first. When your life has direction, purpose, and control, women naturally align with that energy. They're drawn to your leadership, your focus, and your independence. That's when you stop chasing relationships and start choosing them. So take this as a lesson, not to stop showing interest, but to show it from a place of power, not need. The more you understand yourself, the less you'll depend on validation. And once you master that, no woman will ever be able to ignore you again, because your presence will speak for itself. Attraction isn't about chasing. It's about maintaining power, purpose, and emotional control. When you show too much interest, you give away the mystery that fuels desire. Women are drawn to men who are calm, confident, and grounded in their own world. So, instead of seeking validation, focus on building your value and presence. When your life radiates strength and direction, women can't help but notice. Remember, your attention is valuable. Give it wisely and you'll never have to beg for interest again. Stay centered, stay confident, and always move like a man who knows his worth.